I will tell you what, I absolutely love that Dorado boat latch. It makes launching my boat by myself so much easier. That Dorado boat latch is the bee's knees. But welcome back to another episode. For those of you that are new here, my name is Cody. I do walleye basically and salmon fishing here on this channel. We've been doing a lot of salmon fishing lately. Today, we're gonna take a break from that and do some walleye fishing. We're back out on Green Bay. And basically what I wanted to do in this video was explain sharpshooting. You guys see me do this in a ton of my videos, and I've never really taken the chance to kind of like sit down and actually break down what I'm doing and how I'm using Garmin Livescope up on these pieces of structure that we're jigging to sharpshoot fish. Today, I'm gonna break that down for you guys. I'll actually walk through the settings in my unit too as well. But today we're just gonna relax a little bit, hopefully catch some walleyes on the jig stick. We're not gonna do any trolling today. I am running guided trips out here if you guys are interested in getting out here, getting your hands on a rod and actually seeing this done in person. I would be glad to get you out here on Green Bay. I will leave that all linked down below if you're interested in that. Put the Livescope down up front already just to kind of set anchor mode here, and I already seen some schools of fish. So hopefully they're the right kind and hopefully we can get them to eat. Stay tuned. So the biggest thing I look for when I pull up onto a piece of structure for the first time ever, when I put my Garmin Livescope down, I'll kind of work on the outer edges of that hump and then kind of work my way up to the top. Sometimes they'll be slid off on those deeper edges, and then sometimes they'll be up on top too as well. There's a lot of different variables that'll push fish onto different parts of the structure. So just kind of working your way around it is gonna help you find fish that much faster. So this smaller hump that I'm on today, I started off on that deeper edge, like 24, 23 feet of water, kind of worked my way up and found that majority of the fish that I was seeing was in that 20 to 17 foot of water. And you can just see this hump is just loaded with fish. I don't even really have to move my Livescope a whole ton. I'm gonna go ahead and target those fish at 50 feet right there. We'll just pitch that jig out there. You can see my jig going down right past those fish at about 60 feet. And I'm not even gonna let it hit the bottom because I just seen where it was. I'm just gonna go ahead and pull this jig right through those fish. It's so important when you're doing this sharpshooting to be sure that you're casting on top of these fish. Precision casting definitely takes a lot of practice. It's something that may look really easy on video like this, but it does take a ton of practice to get used to. Knowing where your transducer's lining up with these fish is super important. So definitely take some time, do some precision casting, practice with your Livescope, and you will slowly become very addicted to it and also a lot better of a fisherman. I always find that anywhere from 40 to 50 feet is kind of a good striking distance with this death jig. We're gonna cast at those about 40 feet away. We'll just give this a chuck out there. I'm actually gonna put the boat in anchor so we don't move. You can see my death jig going down right there at 70 feet. We'll let that hit bottom and then we'll slowly retrieve this back to the boat. And there we got one right there. Hit it instantly. That was a good hit. So the trick with this death jig is to actually let that fish eat it for a while. You know, let it take it in. I actually felt that fish pick it up. And I actually told you guys that I had one on before I even set the hook. You just want to make sure that you let those fish eat it a little bit longer with this death jig. This fish is not happy. Let that fish eat it just a little bit longer before you set the hook. Otherwise, you'll end up kind of just ripping that death jig right out of their mouths. And oh yeah, that's a good fish. Let's see if I can grab a net here. It's a brand new rod from Della Bay that I got for this death jig presentation this year, and I absolutely love it. That's a good fish. See if we can get him in the net here. That is just a thick, chunky fish. And that is a beautiful fish right there. Another good eater if we were keeping fish. Awesome colors to that one too as well. Just a gorgeous Green Bay walleye right there. And we're sharpshooting them. Let's get this girl back. There she goes. Awesome. That's our second fish in less than 10 casts. We'll take that. Got one. Finally. Took like 5 casts through that school and we finally got one to eat. He smoked it too. You guys saw the size of that school. It was a big school of fish down there. I should try and be a little quiet. I got other boats around me, but this one feels better. Gosh, look at that rod bend. I love this rod. Oh yeah. I'm gonna need to grab a net. From Della Bay, I had Della Bay actually had them custom make this rod for me, specifically for throwing the death jig. And so far, I am loving it. And that's another great fish. And that right there is the perfect death jig fish. Nice and thick, awesome green bay fish, awesome colors. Giant schools of fish, targeting them with slow presentations today, simply because they are just very, very, very negative. But that bait gets it done. And that is another gorgeous fish. I'm gonna get this one put back. Hopefully just keep whacking. It's always nice when you can get a couple fish out of this death jig. You can see all I really gotta do here is poke that treble hook back through the nose here, and we're good to go for another fish. So as I was saying, the rod selection for using the death jig is actually really important. After using the death jig for a couple of years now, I've noticed having a longer rod absolutely helps. This is a Della Bay 711 Superior Series. A lot of the guys that are using death jigs really heavy are using those longer rods, basically to help them cast that death jig out without getting it fouled up. That longer rod's just gonna give you more ability to basically sweep that jig out there without actually having to cast it. And that's gonna get you a lot less foul ups when you're casting this presentation. Another super important feature to have on a good death jig rod is a super soft tip. You want that soft tip so that that fish can grab that bait and you can give yourself time before setting the hook without ripping that bait out of the fish's mouth. So if you're looking for a solid death jig rod, definitely look up Della Bay. Let them know that you watched this video and you want this exact setup for your death jig rod, and they'll get you taken care of. There we go. That one did it. You can actually see the fish coming up on Livescope there. Man, that school was being finicky, but I got this one to go. It is a walleye. Oop, not ready. Yep. We got him. Not as big as the other ones, but it's a fish. We're seeing all that bait moving around on the bottom there, and you can just tell that these fish are feeding on them. They are packed full of bait, and that's a good green bay walleye. Look at the gold colors on that fish right there. They're definitely packing on the pounds, but that's just another good green bay walleye. Peace out. Awesome. That shiver minnow with the death jig, perfect 1-2 punch, and it does catch fish. One of the keys to success with sharpshooting too is make sure that you got the boat stable as you can get it before you cast at those fish. As you could tell, I was kind of moving around with the Minn Kota and the boat was moving. If you can get the boat as stable as you can get it before making that cast, you're gonna make a lot more precise casts rather than trying to cast while that boat's still moving. So if you're using an Ultrex like this and you're sharpshooting, or maybe you got a Tarova and a stick or something like that, always try to get that boat to stop before you make that cast, and you're just gonna find yourself making a lot better precise casts at these fish than if the boat was moving. Oh, that was so cool. Oh, it's so cool watching him fire up on Livescope and just come up and smoke the bait. Oh, you guys, there was 2 fish chasing me, and this one came up and did it. So freaking cool watching that. That's a good one again. got him. That was awesome. Oh yeah. Doesn't get any better than watching fish eat on Garmin Livescope like that. And that right there is another gorgeous eater if we were keeping fish. But we're giving away free passes today. We're just out here having some fun, and that's another gorgeous walleye. See you later. Well, I think that is gonna be where we end today's video. Hopefully this video gave you a better understanding on how we break down water with Livescope, how we break down these humps out, especially out on Green Bay, these rock humps. We're always using technology to learn new things about bodies of water, learn new things about the species that we're actually chasing. And Livescope has definitely done a lot for me the past couple of years, just learning the behavior of walleye, what they do during certain weather situations, certain times of the year, how they set up on structure is all really, really useful knowledge that you can use not only on the body of water that you're fishing, but many of the body of waters that you're probably gonna fish in the future. So if you're not using it, I highly suggest getting a forward-facing sonar, something very similar to Garmin Livescope. Definitely can help you eliminate dead water a lot faster, find fish faster, not always necessarily catch them, but it definitely can help you find fish much quicker. Thank you guys again so much for watching. Remember, I am running guided trips out here, so if you want to get out here, get some hands-on experience with the Livescope unit, learn just a little bit more on how you can utilize Livescope to put fish in the boat, we can definitely make that happen for you. I'll leave that linked down below where you guys can book me for a day. Not only will I teach you some stuff, we'll also have a lot of fun out on the water. I'm gonna go ahead, probably fish a little longer here, and then head back in, get the boat on the trailer, and head out of here. But as always, keep living your dream. We'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace.